Welcome, fellow seekers of the supernatural. Have you ever wondered about the stories that linger in the shadows of America's most haunted cemeteries? Tonight, we're diving into part 2 of our spine-chilling journey, uncovering hidden tales and restless spirits in 15 more haunted cemeteries across America. Prepare yourself for the whispers, the legends, and the eerie encounters that are as chilling as they are unforgettable. Are you ready to face what lies beyond the grave? 1. Calvary Cemetery, Queens, New York. As one of New York's oldest and most massive burial grounds, Calvary Cemetery is a final resting place for more than 3 million souls. It's a sprawling landscape of statues and mausoleums, shrouded in eerie silence. Many visitors have reported a sense of being watched, with some even claiming to hear faint, sorrowful cries carried on the wind. According to legend, these are the voices of Irish and Italian immigrants who came to New York seeking a new life, but met tragic ends. On misty evenings, shadowy figures can be seen walking slowly between the tombstones, their forms just faint enough to question reality. These spectral beings are thought to be the restless spirits of those who died alone, still searching for the families and lives they left behind. 2. Evergreen Cemetery, Los Angeles, California. Evergreen Cemetery, one of Los Angeles's oldest burial grounds, has been the source of ghostly sightings and spine-chilling tales for over a century. Its legacy includes the burial of thousands of early Los Angeles residents, some of whom met violent or mysterious deaths. Visitors to Evergreen often describe an intense coldness that blankets them as they wander the rows of weathered stones, even on warm California nights. There's talk of a ghostly woman in a black veil, her face obscured, gliding silently between graves. She is said to pause at certain headstones, her hands raised as if in prayer, only to disappear the moment she's noticed. Those who encounter her are left with an overwhelming sadness, as though she's carrying with her a sorrow too deep to release. 3. Myrtle Hill Cemetery, Rome, Georgia. Perched atop one of the hills overlooking the town of Rome, Myrtle Hill Cemetery is known for its beauty and eerie legends. During the Civil War, this site was the final resting place for many soldiers, and their spirits are rumored to haunt the grounds. There are reports of shadowy figures clad in tattered uniforms, seemingly lost in time, roaming the winding paths between tombstones. At times, a faint bugle call drifts through the air, leaving an unmistakable sense of dread in its wake. Some claim that a chilling presence can be felt as they walk past the graves, as if the spirits of fallen soldiers are watching, their eyes forever set on the hills they once defended. 4. Old City Cemetery, Lynchburg, Virginia. The historic Old City Cemetery in Lynchburg, Virginia, is a site soaked in Civil War history and tales of restless spirits. Unmarked graves and an eerie quietness give this cemetery a haunted aura that draws ghost hunters and history buffs alike. The cemetery is said to be haunted by the spirits of soldiers who died in a nearby Confederate hospital, never having found peace. Witnesses report the sound of clinking chains, anguished cries, and even shadowy figures stumbling through the mist as though still wounded. Some visitors have even felt a ghostly hand brush against them, or the faint sensation of breath on the back of their neck, leaving them with an intense desire to escape. 5. Odd Fellows, Rest Cemetery, New Orleans, Louisiana. Odd Fellows Rest is a secluded cemetery tucked within the already haunted city of New Orleans. Established by a secretive fraternity known as the Odd Fellows, this cemetery has a mysterious aura that's hard to shake. Stories claim the souls buried here linger to protect the cemetery's ancient secrets. Many have reported seeing shadowy figures near the iron gates, flickering lantern lights that vanish without a trace, and feeling a sense of dread the moment they enter. Some nights, whispers float on the wind, faint and unintelligible, as if members of the long-gone society are still discussing matters only they can understand. 6. El Campo Santo Cemetery, San Diego, California. Despite its unassuming size, El Campo Santo Cemetery is one of San Diego's most haunted sites. Surrounded by modern buildings and busy streets, this cemetery feels almost out of place, like a relic trapped in time. Many of the souls buried here were early settlers, criminals, and pioneers, each with stories marked by hardship and sorrow. Some visitors have reported feeling an invisible force pressing against them as they walk by certain graves. Others have witnessed a spectral woman in white drifting through the tombstones, her face etched with despair. Her apparition is often accompanied by a sudden drop in temperature, as if her sorrow is cold enough to chill the very air. 7. Providence Cemetery, Quincy, Florida. Providence Cemetery, surrounded by dense woods and isolated from the bustling world, holds a haunting atmosphere that unnerves visitors. This cemetery was the final resting place for many who perished in a fever epidemic that ravaged the area. The disease spread quickly, leaving numerous families devastated and, some say, souls unsettled. Shadows flicker between the tombstones, often described as sickly, haggard figures with hollow eyes, still reliving their final moments. Many claim to feel a tightening in their chest, as though the lingering spirits are burdened by a sorrow too deep to release. 8. Magnolia Cemetery, Charleston, South Carolina. With its moss-draped trees and ancient headstones, Magnolia Cemetery is a place steeped in ghostly tales. This is where many Confederate soldiers were laid to rest, and their spirits are said to roam the grounds. Local legends speak of ghostly children laughing and playing, their laughter mingling with the eerie rustling of leaves. Perhaps most unsettling is the sight of a soldier, still dressed in a Confederate uniform, wandering between graves with a faraway look in his eyes, seemingly searching for something or someone that he lost long ago. 9. Rolling Hills Asylum Cemetery, Bethany, New York. Rolling Hills Asylum Cemetery is a place as haunting as the asylum itself. Those who died within the asylum walls were often buried here, and it is said that their souls still linger, bound to the earth by years of pain and isolation. Visitors often feel an intense sadness upon entering, and there are reports of ghostly figures moving through the misty graveyard. Faint whispers seem to drift from nowhere, pleading, begging for release. Some visitors leave with the feeling that they are being followed, as if the spirits themselves are desperate for a connection. 10. Holt Cemetery, New Orleans, Louisiana. Holt Cemetery, a resting place for the city's poor, is a humble yet deeply unsettling burial ground. Because many families couldn't afford proper burials, graves here were dug and marked with simple, handmade markers. This lack of formality has led to numerous ghost sightings and chilling experiences. The cemetery has an uneasy, restless energy. Visitors report seeing figures in the mist and feeling watched. At night, the cemetery feels almost alive, as if the spirits are keeping a vigil, their voices blending into a symphony of faint, sorrowful murmurs. 11. Fairvue Cemetery, Council Bluffs, Iowa. Fairvue Cemetery is home to the infamous Black Angel statue of Ruth Ann Dodge, a figure that has captivated and terrified visitors for years. Legend has it that the angel statue's eyes glow in the dark, watching those who dare to come near. At times, people swear they see the angel move, her mournful gaze tracking them. Local tales say her spirit wanders the grounds, a tragic and sorrowful figure who only reveals herself to those with pure intentions, leaving others with an indescribable. 12. Silver Cliff Cemetery, Silver Cliff, Colorado. The desolate landscape of Silver Cliff Cemetery is famous for its mysterious blue lights that hover above the graves. These eerie orbs appear after sunset, floating above the tombstones like silent sentinels. Some believe these are the spirits of miners who perished in the nearby mountains, eternally bound to this world. Locals have tried to explain the lights, but they defy all logic, leaving visitors to wonder if they're witnessing the last remains of lost souls. 13. Highgate Cemetery, New Orleans, Louisiana. Highgate Cemetery, though lesser known, is feared for its haunting atmosphere. Legend has it that spirits wander the graveyard, dressed in Victorian attire, their eyes hollow and void of life. Visitors report feelings of overwhelming sadness and dread, as though the spirits themselves are reliving tragedies. As you walk through, it's not uncommon to hear faint footsteps, as if one of the spirits is following close behind, drawn to the energy of the living. 14. Salt Lake City Cemetery, Salt Lake City, Utah. Salt Lake City Cemetery holds the eerie grave of Lily Gray, known as the victim of the beast 6666. This mysterious epitaph has spurred ghostly legends, with visitors experiencing inexplicable dread when approaching her grave. Some claim to see dark figures circling her headstone, watching intently. Locals say that those who visit Lily's grave often leave with a lingering sense of paranoia, as though something unseen is following them home. 15. Rose Hill Cemetery, Macon, Georgia. Rose Hill Cemetery has long been a haunting place for the residents of Macon. Known for its ghostly inhabitants, it's said that the spirits who wander here are friendly but desperate for attention. Visitors report hearing whispers, laughter, and distant melancholy songs drifting through the trees. A mist often settles here, and many believe it's the spirits themselves who emerge from the fog, forever bound to this place, yearning for a listener to hear their tales. Thank you for joining us on this haunting journey. As we leave the shadows of these legendary cemeteries, remember, the past may be closer than you think, and some spirits may still linger, waiting to tell their stories. If you're intrigued by more ghostly tales, or have your own haunted experience, share it in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for even more terrifying tales in our next adventure. Until then, stay curious and stay brave.